Hello my loyal companions, welcome back to episode 16 of RogueCast, your dedicated Rogue Company podcast and one-stop shop for all the latest news, exclusive interviews and clips of the week. As always, I'll update you on the latest news to come out of Rogue Company this week. Then I have an exclusive interview with former Gears of War professional player and former teammate of Nickmercs, NSAN3 WARRIOR. I am your host Radthar, let's get into the RogueCast. There aren't many items to come out of the news this week, although there are a few that I want to share with you. The first comes from a tweet from Scott Gandy acknowledging that ranked placement matches should be added into the next iteration of the ranked system. This is something the community has been asking for a lot, and it does show they are listening to us. And the reason why I think this is going to be so good and why it's been so asked for is just because it helps separate those who should be in the lower ranks from those who should be in the higher ranks a little bit earlier to stop that initial grind being so painful for us all. The next piece of news is that the trailer and animation for Sigrid was now released. It was actually released at the Game Awards, but it also released on the YouTube channel. And I'll play it here for you now so we can all get hyped for Sigrid coming in the next update, which should be in this coming week or the week after, in my opinion. Nothing confirmed, but that is when I think it's likely to come because it should come before the end of the year and really before Christmas week.
What are you training for? What will you do with this strength? My answer to this question used to be simple. It's not so that I continue winning. I train so that I never lose again.
And then the final piece of news, which is really interesting, this comes into the mini battle pass that I did mention was in the game files a while ago. And this mini battle pass is going to be part of the holiday event. They're doing a Christmas holiday event where as we play through games, we earn experience to level up this battle pass type feature, unlocking rewards such as emotes, sprays, stickers, skins, and so much more. On screen now, you can see the 10 tiers that you can unlock. I think the skins are pretty cool. Everything else isn't really as useful. The emote is kind of fun, but really it's those skins that we're going to be wanting to grind for. And I think it's good that they're showing us this because it shows that they do have a system to put in a battle pass that we should be seeing coming forward, and they are looking to give us that sort of cosmetic rewards for playing the game. And I think it's just a step in the right direction. There have been other leaked skins, such as an Anvil skin with a Christmas trench coat and a Dima skin, which is Nutcracker Dima. Those were not featured in this mini battle pass for the holiday event, but I do think they're most likely to be added to the store at the time so that we do have a purchasable option as well. At the end of the day, they still want to make money, so they will add something in for us to buy and things for us to unlock for free so that everyone kind of gets the best of both worlds. That's going to take us to the end of the news, and we're now going to move on to my interview with NSAN3 WARRIOR. As I mentioned, he's a former professional Gears of War player and former teammate of Nickmercs when Nickmercs was part of the Insanes. Now, after becoming a father and husband, he's decided to get back into gaming and content creation now, and he has started looking at Rogue Company as his focus. Him and I played together quite a fair bit, and you can see a lot of videos on his channel actually with me in them, from our gameplays, from some funny moments, and some incredible editing on his part. You'll see what he's all about here in this interview, but him and I have a great crack. He's a really nice guy, really humble, and I definitely recommend you guys check him out after this podcast. So the first question I'd like to ask my guest here on RogueCast is just a little bit about your gaming history. I know yours is very interesting, of course. So please delve in from when you were little to how you got into Rogue Company, what your gaming history is, where it took you, and so forth.
Awesome. Yeah, so starts back probably around, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11. My brother got the N64. I think I had a Sega Genesis too. Like, I'm going that retro.
Yeah, you're going old school.
I'm going so old school. I actually had a cousin that had an Atari, and I played that for a little bit. And he had like a Nintendo. We had Duck Hunt. It's like, pew, pew, shooting up. Like, think about that for a second. Duck Hunt is so above its time. Like, that is actually a completely legit game. I can't believe, like, thinking back to that, like how you could interact with the screen with a little gun. Like,
that's true.
Anyway,
that's very true.
So he got the N64. Of course, the biggest game on the N64 was the GoldenEye 007. And we played that for, I don't know how many hours, so many days, 2 o'clock in the morning, still playing. trying to. He's my older brother by like a lot, by like 7
Okay.
years. So like for me to beat him is like a huge deal. And of course I'm his little brother that like I'm like a toy more than anything.
Yeah.
So he like throws C4 on the wall, waits for me to blow up, laughing at me and whatever. So that was a good time playing that. There's also like a pod racing game for Star Wars. I'm a big Star Wars fan.
Yes.
I'm digging the Return of the Jedi in the background
Yes,
there.
there we go.
I literally geek out every time I see it. It's like, oh, Return of the Jedi, let's go. So anyway, so of course played that too. That game was awesome. PlayStation, played it. Went to the PlayStation 2. There was a big error that happened with a lot of PlayStation 2s, and that error was the disc read error.
Okay.
And so at that point, I was kind of like soured because I didn't have that PlayStation very long, and I think there was the warranty service didn't work, and I was like, okay, whatever, I'm done with this. So I think at that point, Xbox came out. My dad bought me the Xbox. He knew about Halo. He's like, he asked the guys at Walmart, they're like, this is the coolest dad ever. He's buying his son an Xbox and Halo and everything.
Nice.
So he comes home. I play Halo. I meet some friends. I think my first username, because I did judo, and an uki in judo is like the person being thrown a lot, and I was really good at being the guy getting thrown. So
nice.
my first username was unkind uki, which is I thought was hilarious. I played Halo. So I played Halo. My brother played Halo. We played a lot. There's a lot of fun times, a lot of great memories during that. Then, of course, just bounced around all kinds of different games throughout that time. And then I heard about a gaming shop in a town nearby, and I was like, a gaming shop? Like, that sounds so awesome. Like, I got to go check this place out. This is like high school years now. And I was like, I got to go check this place out. So I drive there, and it's like this little hole in the wall. There's no way you'd even know it existed unless somebody told you. I walk in, and there is my future 3 teammates for Gears of War. Insane Predator, Insane Killa, Insane Z Killer. They're all there playing Halo. Those guys, this is now Halo 2 time, and they're insane. Like, how they didn't go pro in Halo is beyond me, because these kids were like 360 no scope headshot. If you played against them, your life was over. you like literally ruined Halo for me. I was like, I played with these guys. I thought I was so good. Like, I would do cool stuff. And then they're like, here, check this out. Double shot BXR. Wow. I'm dead in 10 seconds every time I turn around.
That's so cool.
So I met them. I'd go to the shop every Friday night, Friday night, sometimes Saturday night, just hang out, play. I'd play actually different games because they're too good for me to play with them. and then things happen. The shop ends up shutting down, but they're like, hey, one of the co-owners, he's like, my house, we can go to our house and we can kind of still have the same vibe, whatever. So I remember going there. I met my teammates were all still there, and we started playing. Got to be good friends during that time. And the game Gears of War was coming out, and I was like, guys, like, it's being broadcasted on MLG. Of course, MLG is the huge thing at the time. Yeah, MLG was what everybody looked to, and so I saw. So I'm like, guys, look, on MLG's own website, Gears of War is on there. Like, if we want to become pro gamers, this is the game we have to get to. Like, me and you 3, we get good to this game, we get good at it, and we'll show, like, we're gonna get at the ground floor. Like, that was the problem with Halo. Is the amateurs had a really hard time breaking into the professional bracket because split screen, all kinds of different things. Because I don't know if you've ever played on split screen. It's
I played with my little brother. I'm the reverse story of you, where I was the older brother trying to like blow up his little brother all the time.
Oh, okay.
Around the corner, plasma grenade.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, guys, if we're gonna get in on the ground floor of this game's gonna be huge, and or could be huge. And they're like, okay, we'll try it. And so we played early on. I don't know if did you ever play Gears of War?
Never the early one. I played Gears 2 with my dad, because I was quite young. I must have been like 8 when I was playing Gears, maybe. I don't know. I don't remember the exact time scale, but Gears 2 I played like with my dad a little bit, and then Gears 3 I played by myself, but I haven't touched it since before.
Gotcha. So you know about how you could take the grenade and stick it to someone, right?
Yes. That was a very fun mechanic.
So the very beginning of Gears of War 1, you could like frag tag someone from a mile away. Nice. So literally our strats were around me taking this grenade and frag tagging people. And then after a while, we started beating some really good teams. Of course, that strategy doesn't last.
Not quite as well.
No, it didn't work at all. So we had to change. We had to pivot. But still had a lot of fun. We got into our first online tournament. It was an MLG tournament, and I was like, see guys, I'm right about this. This game's going big. And so we played, I think we got to like quarterfinals, and we played with the guy. And the thing about Gears of War 1, especially,
Mhm.
one player had host. So like
Okay.
that guy's shot hurt real bad.
Yeah.
And the bad thing is if you didn't connect good to that guy, like
Yeah.
you're really laggy.
Mhm.
So they had the higher seed. I can't remember why, but they ended up having the higher seed. And so they got to host more games. Well, this server was really bad. We ended up losing by like one round, went down to like a 1v1, and like my teammate shot, and then the guy appeared to his right, shot him, killed him. So I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Yeah.
This is unfortunate. So I got to look into the rules, and one of the guys on the team had the wrong name. So I submitted a ticket. I was like, hey, this guy has the wrong name. They actually end up there's a forfeit for them in that scenario. This actually ends up being a huge Gears of War team called VVV. I think you've heard of them. They're still around.
I've had them on the podcast.
Yeah, so there you go. So VVV was around at that time, and that early team, and they ended up losing to us because of that one technicality. And they never let me forget about that. That was kind of funny.
I love that.
I was like, the guy's name was Stones. I was like, sorry, Stones, you had the wrong name. Like,
you should have submitted it right.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. So we make it pretty deep in that tournament. We don't end up winning. I think we lost either in the semis or the finals. I think it was the semis. We ended up losing. So time for the first event. They announced that it's going to the LAN. It's going to run the circuit with Halo, and I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So we got it, and we had a high seed because of that online tournament. And I was like, so that meant that we wouldn't have to play split screen very much. So we get into it. We get to play we get through the split screen part real good. And then we get into the later rounds, and we lose to a team called VBI, which is I don't know if you've ever heard of Arctic Zen. He was a community manager and did stuff with.
It rings a bell.
Like he did some stuff with Fortnite and Epic, and
that's probably where I've heard it through.
So that was the VBI team. He was He was the one that ran that. So with some other guys as well, and they were their whole org. So we end up playing. We end up going through that whole season. Long story short, a lot of close calls, 4th, 5th, and then we get the finals, the big tournament in Vegas that year, 07, and we come in 2nd place. We lose to Infinity. Yeah, it was heartbreaking knowing we got close. I had some things going on personally I was kind of upset about, but after that year, we had decided the one thing about my team that people don't understand. My team was all local. Yeah. Like you don't have that. Like that's a huge deal. Me and my teammates went to the same house every day and practiced. And so like we literally set all like when we got to LAN, we're comfortable. So and like a lot of times if you watch our old VODs, we're calling each other by our first names. Like, hey Ethan, hey Zach, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So 08 comes around and kind of mutually decided I was going to leave the Insanes at this point. And I went out on the free agent market. Some other things happened. Actually, this time, Nickmercs, this is his first appearance on the Insanes.
Wow.
So, so I wasn't on the team at this point. Him and another guy named Prospect were on the team with Killa and Z-Killa. Me and Predator had moved to different teams. So we went to the first event, and I had actually joined the VBI team that beat us in the first event. And, so ironically enough, now this is the first event of 08, and we all placed right next to each other. I think 3rd, 4th, and 5th is like literally how all 3 of our teams placed. And so I think we had all kind of understood what we had and how sad it was we left that.
Yeah.
And so we kind of came together. we had like met and played, and we're like, hey guys, we got to do this again. Like we are too good. We got to bring the team back. So they brought the team back, moved into the rest of 08. We had a tournament in Orlando, had all kinds of issues getting there, the plane, there's storms and stuff. So we got there like really late. I got sick at the tournament, but we ended up placing, I believe, 4th at that tournament. So it was kind of unfortunate, but what are you going to do?
Yeah, but always placing pretty high. That's
yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, I think our worst finish was 5th.
Okay. Wow.
I think the whole time we played. So yeah, we never placed much below that. 3rd to 5th was kind of the first couple of years, kind of worst spot. And then we had a tournament in Toronto, Canada. And I remember me and Predator drove to this tournament from Kansas City because we didn't have the money to fly. Our other 2 teammates, they flew there. And we drove like 26 hours to Toronto. It was insane. And this little, like, I don't know if you know what a Tiburon is,
Nope.
but it's like a tiny car. Okay, yeah, it's like a tiny little, like, American car. I was on the back seat all cramped in like this, the luggage and stuff. We got to the border. We actually had problems at the border getting in,
No.
uh, just because my teammate's girlfriend at the time, she was from Maryland, and we said we came from Kansas City,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Well, that's not the right license plate," and we're like, "Yeah, we know, because she drove and picked us up." And they're like, "Okay, well, you have to go through immigration." So
Oh dear.
there's a whole story there.
Oh
But
dear.
anyway, finally we head to the event. Uh, I we played the first match, and I could just tell like this was gonna be the one.
Okay.
This was gonna be the one. And we actually played in the winner bracket finals. We played a British team named Dignitas.
Dignitas? Yeah.
Yeah, Dignitas.
Okay.
Yeah, so
I know who Dignitas is.
okay, yeah. So we played Dignitas, played them. We went through them actually pretty good. Like, I think it was like a 3-1 or 2-1 map count. But we were never worried. So now we're in the finals. I believe our main rival was Infinity. It was like us were first and second every event.
Yeah.
Play Infinity, and I think this is the first time we beat Infinity.
Nice.
And it was such a huge thing. Our first MLG tournament win. I was so excited. I remember jumping up on stage, like, yeah, let's go, high five and hugging people. I didn't even care anymore. I was just so happy to finally do it. And then we went to Dallas. There's a lot of issues with the tournament. Like the tournament went super late. And then right in the middle of the tournament, the power went out.
Oh, that's awful for LAN.
Oh my goodness. Like, can you imagine this, Red? So you're in a game and you're like really thinking, like you're looking around, you're communicating, and all of a sudden everything's gone. That's literally happened to us.
Because it's gone everywhere, isn't it? So it's like
everybody's
wiped. Everyone looks around like oh, what?
Exactly. Like we're looking at the referees. The referees are like, we don't know, So that was kind of great. But so the tournament got moved. We were actually in trouble that match. We were actually losing. We ended up coming back, winning that match, and we came in, I want to say 3rd or 4th. The next morning, we had to wake up at like 6:00, and we made this really smart decision that instead of like waking up early and eating breakfast, we'll just wake up and go to the tournament, drink a Red Bull, and then go play.
Real gamers right there. That's true gaming.
Right. The bad thing is I never suggest that because that was the worst feeling of my life.
I bet so.
Just eating feeling in my stomach of the Red Bull. Oh, I was sick the rest of the day.
Yeah, there's nothing to like absorb it, is it? It's like
right.
It just sits there and it burns.
Oh my goodness! I remember looking down at the ground, like, should I puke or lay down and cry? I don't know what I want to do. Right
I had that exact feeling.
So I was like, okay, so we ended up, I believe, getting 4th at that event, and then now Vegas, Gears of War 2 had just come out. A lot of people had already transitioned over to Gears of War 2.
Okay.
We decided to stay with Gears of War 1.
Okay.
And I actually tried to transition. Predator's been like, guys, we have this huge tournament.
Yeah.
Like the payout for each one of us is $5,000. So it's like 20,000 for this. So we're like, we got to win this. Like we can't sit back and let this go. So we train up and we end up dominating Vegas 08. Actually, Infinity almost came back against us in the finals, but we win the MLG National Championship in 08.
Wow.
So we became the national championships. And then the very next year, one of our teammates, we kind of made another mutual decision to leave. He kind of decided to leave, and we kind of said, okay. And that's whenever we picked up Nickmercs later that year for the 09 Gears of War 2.
So you picked him back up?
Yeah, picked him back up. And he didn't want to come to our team at first. He's like, "Oh, guys, listen, I'm staying with my team." I think he was with Murder right now. He's like, "I'm staying. I'm just coming for this LAN event to play." And we're like, "Yeah, Nick, we know, we know." But it's like, "Come on, insane Nick!" Like we could get messing with him the whole time. It was funny. But then he stayed with the team the whole. I ended up leaving after the first event of 09. I believe we placed 3rd or 4th. But at that point, I felt like the game was dying. Of course, the economic struggles of the United States at that time. We were having our whole crash. Was it the recession, I believe? Yeah. So we had the recession. I'm looking around at the first event. Nobody's there. We didn't sell out our Gears of War passes. Yeah. So in my opinion, I felt like the game was going to die. And I was, I believe, 21 or 22 at the time. And I had decided, like, I want to move on with the next part of my life. So I had met my wife at the time. And so I'd wanted to do more of that and start moving and married and have my career. Because at that point, honestly, I would have never expected gaming to be where it is. At that point, literally at 08, I thought gaming was dead. I was like, this is over. We had a nice run. We almost did it, but now it's amazing.
It's like a phase, right? Like people thought it was a phase. Like, oh, it's the gaming phase. There's these LAN events. There's a nice community for gamers, but it's not going to lead anywhere.
Right, exactly.
And then 10 years later, here we are.
Yeah, 10 years later, like Nick's like one of the biggest streamers.
Exactly.
That guy deserves it so much. He's awesome.
He's
just looking around and seeing what gaming has become, it's amazing. I'm so excited that I was part of the beginning. I was part of the infant phase,
Exactly.
So
you like those LAN events and the MLG and stuff. They built the paveway for careers in gaming beyond just playing, like casting and stuff. They, Courage JD obviously came from the casting side of thing into what he is now a massive streamer. Like those LAN events and those sort of things in Gears 1 and Halo built the infrastructure for what we have now. I think it's amazing that you're a part of that. And that's so cool. That's like awesome. And in fact, you play with Nickmercs, who's someone I watched in the Warzone scene for a while.
Right.
And obviously watched his personality and knew other streamers from there. So the fact you were playing with him and you're obviously carrying him through some wins.
He was carrying me too. Trust me. He is always a beast.
He's correct. Cool. So then now obviously you've done. You're married. You got your kids. Great integration with that and your new content. What made you come to Rogue Company then? Why have you settled on Rogue Company?
Sure. So first off, we got our stimulus checks, and I had been talking and thinking for a long time, like, I really like to get into YouTube and do content creation. But there's always, you can always think of one reason why not to do it.
Yeah.
And so I was like, the more I kind of researched and I looked around, because I'm a researcher, like before I'll take a big step, I want to look and I want to like decide, is this going to be like, where can this path lead? What's it going to take for me to get there?
Exactly.
And then the more I kept looking, I was like, I'm just going to build a computer and we'll just see what happens. Okay. So I built my first PC, current PC I'm on right now. And I always went to Nick's streams whenever he was online. I would say hi to him. He'd say, hi, what's up?
That's cool.
And then I had actually just started to decide, like, I actually got in Twitter really this year. Like, I haven't really been on Twitter or anything like that. And so I post on Twitter my PC, and I was like, check this out. This thing's sweet. And then he pulled it up on his stream. Nick did. He's like, I saw your tweet about your PC. Dude, the thing's nice, man. Like, you gonna start streaming it? You gonna start doing this? These kids are cracked, And I was like, I know. I was like, I watch you play. I know. So I was like, I don't know. I just in a way, I kind of just felt like everything was lining up. Everything kept lining up. The next brick kept coming down. I really without very much inspiration for me besides building the PC. So I decided, let's try it out. The best thing you can do is start.
Exactly.
And so I started. And I just got to looking around. I played Warzone for a while. I think my first 3, 4, 5 videos are maybe all Warzone, but Warzone's so hard to do because there's just so much cheating, and there might be a possibility I'm not the best, but it's hard to get good footage. Right, So that there's all that to it. So I was like, okay, well, Warzone, it's fun, and then everybody I've talked to had said like, hey, there's this game called Rogue Company. You need to check it out. And I'm like, I know, but I'm having fun with Warzone. I'm like, no, check out Rogue Company. I'm like, okay. Well, then I saw the tweet from Scott Gandhi saying we're going free to play, and I'm like, yeah, okay, let's check it out. I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. So I hopped on. I was like, dude, I feel at home. Like I just felt at home. This felt like Gears to me.
That's what I was gonna say. Is there a lot of nostalgia mechanically, not just visually, but like mechanically to Gears?
Yeah, there's a lot of that to Gears. Just the third person over the shoulder. I mean, I guess it's kind of Soldier. Yeah. Of course, Gears are more zoomed in, but just that feeling, the way you can peek around corners, which I'm sure a lot of Fortnite kids are used to that. Being able to peek around a corner, just a lot of the mechanics in general. The
roll, I assume, as well. I feel like the roll is very like animated very similarly.
Right.
Like the way I remember playing Gears and stuff. I think there's a lot. Obviously, there's no shoulder swap in Gears.
There is no, there's not. But like I seen Domes posted something about that the other day, and like there was a bunch of Gears hate about it. And I'm like, no, this is the greatest thing. We really do need this.
Yeah, I think I think that's awesome. I think it's a fantastic for any third person. That's such a great mechanic to be able to swap between because, and I do this all the time, and people don't realize it when like you watch people play. You can shoulder swap to change your aim, and like actually like adjust your aim slightly. And it's if you can get that down, it's a very quick way and very reliable way of swapping aim. And that's why I love to do it. But yeah, I love the shoulder swap mechanic. But
I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
I wish we had a suck to cover. I know that's like a big thing.
I was about to say that. Did you wish you had that?
I do wish we had that because there's some times I was like, oh man, I didn't realize I was peeking. But if I stuck to the cover, I would have known that was probably good. But I've recommended it to some, and like Rogue Company people are like, no,
this is not Gears. You get like halfway there, but if you're behind cover and you aim, you do peek over at least. You get at least halfway there. At least you can't shoot over cover. That would have wound me up if you could just go like in Gears, which is a great mechanic for Gears. But
I agree with you. 100% agreement there. Like it's not for Rogue Company, but it's great for Gears.
Exactly. So where do you then see Rogue Company go? Because if you were the start of Gears, you saw how that was kicking off. Rogue Company, I feel like in its time scale is slower in the fact that it's a beta and they're kind of hinging on the word beta a lot before they take it into full release. How do you see any similarities between the growth of Gears and the growth of Rogue Company? Do you think Rogue Company is an avenue to be big like Gears was back in those days? Where do you see it?
Yeah, so where do I see Rogue? So right now, at first I was not the happiest or most excited about how Rogue Company had moved forward, just because they had their alpha phase and then now we're in the beta phase.
Yep.
But now the more that I'm seeing, like I really like analyze businesses whenever like I like play with their studio, their video game, or whatever. And I'd seen now what Rogue Company is doing. Like this is actually so unique what they've done. They're continuing to build this kind of like what Fortnite does. Fortnite's technically beta phase if you really think about it.
Yeah.
That says on their game every time beta. And so that way they can keep building their game up and building it up.
Yeah.
Of course, Fortnite's way past.
Yeah, exactly. Fortnite you just use beta as like a meme. Like I swear, we're in beta. Season 24 of beta.
Oh, there's a glitch. Well, we're in beta, that glitches. But yeah, I see how they're building it. I think this Gears has right now at this point has fallen off quite a bit, and I was at one time I had thought about going back to Gears content because I mean that's where my name's at. The Insanes are very famous. Whenever I go to people's streams sometimes and they're like, oh, hold back, there's royalty in the room. And I'm like, no, you're embarrassing me. Please don't do that. Please don't do that.
I'm going to start doing that every time you go into my stream now.
No, don't do that.
Royalty's here, guys.
Please don't. But I decided not to. At this time, I think Gears now they're trying to change it more toward a Gears of War 2. I had seen some updates they're trying to do to make it closer to Gears of War 2. But with how fast the wall bouncing / canceling has,
I've seen some gameplay from like the pros. The way they just move like from boom 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 boom, like it's like it's weird. Like
I'm not saying that there's a huge amount of skill with that.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You can look at one side of it being skill, but you also have to have viewability. And right now, Gears in its current state, without the next patch that will move it closer to Gears 2, the viewability is not there. I casted a Gears tournament probably, I don't remember when that was, October maybe. And I remember watching it and I was like, man, I need to go get some motion sickness. It's medicine, because like I'm watching it and it was just boom, 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 boom. And I mean, kind of hard to follow, and it's not fun for the viewer to follow at this point. So I think right now we have like a void really in our so we have our great games, Fortnite, Call of Duty, and then our AAA titles, which I would consider Rogue Company a AAA title at this point. There's kind of a void, right? So there's kind of a void there. There's no real top dog. I guess I don't know if you consider Escape from Tarkov kind of one. You see
that's
that
very
one a
niche,
lot.
I think it's big in its community, but I think it's out of that community very niche.
Right.
Like my dad was trying to get me to play it for ages, and I was just like, I don't have time to commit to that game because it resets all the time. It just like refreshes.
Right.
Like, it's like, here's all your progress, wipe. And, like there's wipes every few months. I'm like, I can't be doing that. I cry inside. Like It's a grindy game as well. I think maybe like in that category, like Halo when it comes out probably will be that. Like Halo
Okay.
Infinite might fit in that AAA title. I don't think that. I don't know. I don't know how big the Halo player base still is, really. To be fair,
I agree with you because like it's kind of what Gears did. They
Yeah.
didn't. I don't want to say that they didn't pay attention to their. Okay, so I'll go like this. At one point when Gears of War 2 came out, there were several glitches. One of the big reasons I left the competitive scene at that point. I remember there was like I'd get smoked and sometimes I'd fall through the map, and that was considered a death. Okay. So no, that shouldn't be considered a death on the game. I should be considered like a reset of some type. But there were so many bad glitches. Like I remember there was a time you would run if you were like a wall attached and running and you came off. Sometimes your gun would not, even though it showed the animation of shooting, it actually would not be shooting. It would be shooting like nothing. Like your magazine would stay at 30. And there was just so many glitches. And I remember like everybody was trying to talk to Cliffy B was the main designer at the time. And Cliffy B's comments at the time was the comments were, we didn't build this game for you. We built it for the mass audience. And I'm like, well, we drive the mass audience. If you can show something amazing happened in your game, then people are going to be like, I want to go see if I can do that.
Exactly.
That's the attention. We bring the attention, and you like we asked for help. And at that time, he kind of gave us the, well, I'm sorry, but help's not coming. Later on down the road, I did hear that Gears 2 got a lot better, and it probably would have been a game I would have enjoyed playing competitively at that time. But whenever I decided to step away, it was not what I was gonna do. I was like, I don't like being smoked and going through the map or shooting somebody and my shot literally went through their back and I can see it hit the wall right behind them. Like, I'm good. So as long as Rogue Company can listen to their to their players, especially like you have to understand. And it seems like Scott Gandhi's done a good job about this. I always see him talking to Frag Out, Next, anybody that really wants to talk to him, he'll talk to him about his game. And so as long as they can do that, I think that this game can continue to build, continue to possibly be the top AAA title. I know we had a lull there like 2 weeks ago where I was like, man, we need some attention somehow. And then the Sigrid and Glacier and
exactly. About a week after Ranked, that is when it was like, oh, and a lot of people went off it because COD came out about a week after Ranked, and so there was a lot of transition. And then I think just before Sigrid and the Glacier and the new coming updates coming, the Arctic Shield update, the 8K tournament was announced for CMG, and that was a hitter. That brought everyone straight back to COD because. This is the thing. People who were big in the Rogue Company scene, as big as they could be, because it doesn't hit massive viewers, but it hits some. They moved to COD, but they know they're not going to make it in the COD scene. Like, it's as a content creator, it's so hard to break into COD, as you were saying, and we have a very similar path. My first five or so videos on this channel are COD videos, and you just don't break into the scene like that. And when you realize, oh, here's a game I was really good at, and I could win 8K, that brought them all back. Then they hit the update, and now they hit the update patch at least with the PTS server, and now we're sort of in a good spot again. I think going into the end of the year, I think they've got a good amount of hype. I just hope they can deliver it. Is the thing. I think the PTS server was a fantastic thing to do to give us access to it. At least in some regard. Did you get to play it in the end?
I did not play it at all. I missed that train so bad. I looked back and I was like, wow, I that was such a great content creation time.
Great game.
And
content and just the game. Yeah.
And I was like, man, I cannot believe I missed out on that train. But that train sailed without me, unfortunately. I waved. I said bye.
Did you at least get to like see the content that was available into it though, like Sigrid and stuff and Glacier? What are your thoughts on particularly Sigrid is what I'm interested in. What do you think about Sigrid as a rogue?
So I watched your stream on it. I was watching you stream it, and I was like, okay, let's see how Sigrid works. And I had actually came out with a Glacier video. What I expected the map to lay out. Completely missed the mark. I'm not gonna lie. I'll be honest. I do still think that the other plane, so to speak, that we saw on the picture, I still do think that that's the Jackal plane. And we're gonna have, instead of being Alpha Bravo, I think we're gonna have.
I really like that take actually. That when I watched that video, that was the one thing I thought that is either going to be dead right or they're going to stay as we are, Alpha Bravo. Like one of those two things is going to happen. It's either going to stay Alpha Bravo or they will move Rogue Company Jackal.
Right.
I just don't know exactly how they're gonna decide to do it. This is probably a good discussion point. Is from a lore aspect, from what I understand, all our current rogues are rogue company. They don't have jackal rogues. If that makes sense.
Sure.
They have like a jackal skin for Anvil and a jackal skin for Vi. I think it's potentially like an undercover operation sort of lore. I don't know, but like, are they gonna add like a whole nother subset of rogues who are like all jackal, or is it literally just gonna be you pick your rogues as normal and one team is jackal, one team is rogue? You know, like
Right.
But
that's what I was trying to figure out.
Yeah, and I think they definitely could move into the jackal. I think they're not gonna do this, but this will be a move and a half. Is okay. Look, we have 15 rogues out right now. Because they're about to make a big announcement. I think I probably would have covered it because Scott said he was going to say it tonight. So by the time this comes out, I may have mentioned it in the news just beforehand.
Okay.
But how funny would that announcement be? Is hey, we have 15 more rogues coming. They're all jackal. Can you imagine that as an announcement?
That would be insane.
Yeah,
Could you imagine?
I don't think they would, just for balancing reasons. Like you have to have like options of having the same rogues, right? Like, I think. Right. I guess Siege doesn't. Huh. Now you got my brain ticking on it. But yeah, I definitely think they could rename Alpha Bravo to Jackal Rogue. I would be interested.
But the reason I see that is like, and it doesn't really hurt in a way to rebrand some of them. You wouldn't necessarily sell the skin. Yeah. Like you'd have your general skin, and then they would just have a Jackal logo when you're on Jackal team.
Yeah.
Or Roko whenever you're on the Roko team.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think that's the way. And I like your idea. I hope it's true. But I'm with you.
15 rogues.
To throw in for another 15 rogues would be insane. And then you would, like you're kind of saying, like there's it's a conflict of interest if you have Roko and Jackal players on the same team and their lore, because behind Rogue Company we have this now storyline building. So
exactly. But in every other game they don't care of what Siege does have a distinction between the rogues you play or the characters you play on attack and defense. There's something like I can't remember what's just in my mind. So like the COD games, right? They had different names. You had like Spetsnaz and whatever. But when they had the characters you could choose, like in Blackout, you had different characters you went in as with different abilities. Doesn't matter who you were on, whatever side you were on. You could have doubles, it could be whatever. Like they didn't care. I think a lot of games probably just don't care, like realistically. And this one might not, but that might hurt the lore fanatic in me a little bit because they've set it up. And then you've also got a game called Rogue Company where you have rogues and jackals. It's like, don't know. It just messes with my brain.
I know. I agree. I agree. But like back into the Sigrid, my opinion on Sigrid. Okay, so my opinion, from watching you play with her, I don't see how she doesn't become a top rogue off the bat. Coming in. I think that she will be the person, because everybody fought to get to Fixer first.
Yeah.
Like when you get in the game, and it's like everybody's like, I pick Fixer because Fixer is such an OP rogue at this time with his double shot sniper. Which I'm terrible with, but I think Sigrid, she'll definitely be like a character I would be good with because with that shield, with the stim shot, I think in especially competitive scene, I don't see how you don't have her because the fact that she could carry, she's your bomb carrier, no matter what.
Every time
she's gonna carry your bomb, you're gonna put the shield down, you're gonna plant that thing and bail out. You're gonna have your team around you. And then, of course, defending the bomb at that point will be where the meta will be. It'll be more about bomb defense, not trying to kill. Like a lot of times, you try to get the bomb runner on the way into the zone.
Yeah.
Now we'll be trying to get the ball, kill everybody after. Right.
You're playing for retake. Yeah, exactly. And I think we've seen that meta shift already. I think flashbangs have become way more viable. Incense to stop bomb plants have been really viable, and all that Sigrid's going to do, I think, is going to accelerate that. I think we're definitely going to move into seeing a lot of Shark, a lot of Talon, maybe some glitch. Sigrid as a sort of like kind of Anvil, I think, will come back into meta purely to block those flashes. Dahlia will always be meta. I think there's a lot of options about to come into the game with Sigrid, and she's just accelerating the meta we're already seeing, which is far more aggressive than the sit back, hold angle DMR meta we were in before. That's definitely my take on Sigrid. And stuff, and I think you agree.
Yeah, I definitely agree with the way that is. And how's your feelings on Glacier? It's kind of hard to know how to gauge Glacier from a viewer standpoint without being in it. Like, what's your feeling on Glacier?
It's chaotic. There's a lot of angles and a lot of height. Like Lockdown brought in height for the first time really into Rogue Company, like with the towers, with the tower and then the two buildings. But I think this brings in just a whole different level of, you have the underground bit, you have the main platform, and you have the pit that goes above. I think there's too much. I think there's slightly too many angles. I think they need to tone it down slightly, and then it'd be okay, because it's just slightly too chaotic now. The rotations are so quick though. When you're like on the A approach, like approaching to A or approaching to B, you can literally just drop down into a vent, go through the underground, like, and it's a straight line. You're up on the other one in seconds. I think it's going to be great for SMG rogues. I think they marketed it really well to what it was going to be, and that is close range fighting, flanking opportunities, etc. I just think there's a bit too much of that. Like, they've just gone a bit over the top with it.
And the trailer, whenever it talked about this won't be another lockdown, do you feel like that was a reference toward the lockdown map, or do you think I was off the point there?
So I think you were right and wrong. So I think you were right in the sense that your reference to it meant, when they said lockdown, they meant lockdown, the map. I don't think what they meant was issues with lockdown, like they're gonna not have the same issues as lockdown. I think it was a lore thing, because the lore of lockdown is someone broke in, like Jackal broke in, took some people out, and Dahlia had to come in and clean it up. I think the reference was, this isn't going to be another lockdown. Like, we're gonna get it this time.
Okay,
we're gonna execute it. Yeah.
Perfect.
But yeah, but it maybe a second hidden meaning in there. With the issues that lockdown had as well. I think if they said it's not going to be another arena, then I would have been like, yeah, okay, that's the bug. That's the bug one.
Gotcha.
But yeah, no, I definitely think that's a lore reference, because of whatever the lore behind lockdown was. Because obviously, like, it's got the explosion like in it. You can see it's kind of in ruins almost. Like, when you look into when you go through Red, you can see it's been like broken into in some way. And the trailers leading up to it were both sort of suggesting that as well. So I think there's something lore based in there. I just don't know exactly what it is yet.
Gotcha. Okay, I was wondering what everybody's opinion was on that. I didn't know if I hit them, because like with lockdown that I watch, everybody goes inside. You very rarely, especially in competitive scene, you very rarely see an outside plan.
Yeah,
and I think
that's very true.
I thought this makes glaciers kind of like you said, chaotic.
Yeah,
like you could probably go. Do you feel like you can go both places to plant?
I think
A and B.
I don't imagine the bomb will be planted very often. I'm gonna be honest on that map. I don't think you'll have to plant the bomb. I think things are just gonna go boom, 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 and it's gonna be so fast paced. There are some really good bomb plant locations though. Like, there's a zip on either end of one of the sites, or both sites have zips on either end, and you can just plant straight on the end of the zip, go across the zip, and watch it. Like, and that's why like something like Sigrid is gonna be really crucial coming in. That's what Anvil could be really good in and stuff. I think the map offers a lot. It's just too many angles at the moment. Too many angles. I don't want to be shot from up, down, left, right, and center. Like, and I've got my shield up. I was playing Sigrid pretty much the whole time in Glacier. I still got my shield up, and I'm still getting beamed from every angle. I'm like crying. That map was not built for Sigrid, which is the weirdest thing. Like Dahlia and Lockdown were a good pairing, you know.
Right.
But Sigrid and Glacier were just not right. There's just not a mix there. She does better on longer maps, I think.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Cool. So just briefly, then we'll talk about your content. Then we've mentioned it a few times going throughout, and you recently made an announcement about some slight adjustments or some future changes coming to your content and stuff. So give us a quick rundown of that and what's going on forward for you.
All right. So I've decided to. I had a series on my channel where I played retro games and games like that. My kids would compete for a Warrior Clan trophy. I've decided to move that to its own channel. I think that's kind of grown to a point where it's past what it can't grow on my channel, is what I feel like. It's kind of hampered by my channel, and my channel's gonna have a harder time growing with them on there as well.
Yeah.
Nothing against them, but it sent me too many different directions.
There's too many different vibes, I think, is the best way. It's like you've got your gaming Insane Warrior personality thing, and then you've got the dad fun family retro game competition side, and they're both amazing, but they don't necessarily gel well, and a lot of variety when you're trying to grow isn't like the best. I think that's a really good move, separating them to, hey, I'm Insane Warrior, here I am on Rogue Company, here I am on these other games and stuff, and doing awesome. By the way, here's this awesome content with my family as well, and I think both of them have avenues to grow separately and then merge together, like community-wise. I
Definitely.
think it's a very good move for that, because yeah, I love both. I think they're all entertaining, but they don't necessarily work on the same channel, because Insane Warrior is
Right.
you, and then you've got your family
The
there, which
Warrior Clay
yeah,
Challenge is its own
exactly.
thing.
But what else are the other updates? You sort of said more towards your own channel as well.
And then I also, I was kind of dipping into different games. I'm going to stay strictly to Rogue Company, especially reporting news, and I'm going to get into some educational stuff.
Nice.
You've definitely inspired me for that. You've killed it, man. You're my inspiration, just so you know. And so also, and so the other thing, the big announcement of that video, I just had this video come out, is I'm going to go ahead and step my toes into the streaming world. Yeah. This I'm a little nervous about this one. I'm not gonna lie.
I think it'll be cool. I think you have the right setup, vibe, and like personality for it. I definitely think you do, as long as, like, because I think you seem to run, like, your PC seems to run fine and stuff. So I think technically wise, you shouldn't have an issue.
That's my main worry too. I'm like, I hope my
Yeah.
PC can run the stream,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
Yeah.
If not, we'll upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? Just buy another graphics card.
Yeah,
because they're really
you can
cheap.
find you can find the 3000 series real easily right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. I've actually just applied on Twitter. Like they did a thing where it's like, hey, we'll send a graphics card to somebody if you tag, like, your tech guy, the guy you go to for tech stuff. And Jolly, who's like my mod, he was gonna tag me in it. He's like, actually, Rad, this is just inaccurate. If I tag you, let's go the other way around. You tag me. I'm like, okay, yeah, Jolly, I'll do that. So maybe we win. Who knows? But even then, he said, well, if you get a 3090, you know, you're gonna need to buy a better CPU as well. Like, and that's gonna cost you another grand. So I'm like, oh no. But hey, at least we get the big one out of the way.
Sure.
So yeah,
definitely.
but no, I think streaming is gonna be a really good thing for your content, for you. I think it's very fun, and in terms of, like, YouTube content, time wise, I think for you, obviously, because you've still got your job and your family and all those things, you'll be there live, you'll be doing that, and then you can find the best parts of that, either as B-roll for educational content or as, like, content in its own right. I think that'll be a really good really good avenue for you to go down. And yeah,
absolutely. I think I'll probably start out maybe, like, I'm hoping maybe, like, just maybe I'll get 2 days roughly of streaming in, and then maybe content create the other days.
Exactly.
So that way YouTube don't become stale off of it. You know?
Exactly. That's the sort of way to do it. And yeah, I definitely think it's great. I don't see the downside for you here. I think it's gonna be great, and I can't wait to tune in and watch you live and you know, praise you for the royalty you are. Gears 1 champion.
Thank you.
No well, then I think the only other thing to do then is let people know where to find you on these different channels. So now is your chance to plug your Twitter, your YouTube, your Twitch, everything you want to plug. Let them know where to find you.
Okay, so YouTube, of course, is Insane Warrior. I don't spell insane the proper way. It's NSAN3, just so that way we have that part down. And then, of course, that's across all my platforms: Instagram, Twitter. I'm pretty active on Twitter. I wish I was more active on Instagram, but it's kind of hard to do everything is kind of crazy. I'm just gonna so then I'll be doing Twitch now, twitch.tv/Insane Warrior, and same with YouTube. I'm probably gonna go across YouTube Live and Facebook and Twitch to start out with. See what hits, and then I'll probably focus down at that point.
Exactly. Nice. Well, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for being on RogueCast. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks for having me.
No problem. A big thank you to Insane Warrior for coming on the podcast and having such a great conversation with me about the state of Rogue Company and his former career in the professional scene of Gears of War. Now we'll move on to the clip of the week, and I've got something special for you. I have a clip from EXO. He was a former member of August when they were still together, and now he has moved over to ERA as part of a signed organization in the Rogue Company scene, which is incredible that people are moving into that direction. And of course, he's an insane player from the EU scene, part of Rogue Rivals, which will be held today. If you have not gone to check it out after this podcast, make sure you do. Rogue Rivals is going on immediately as this goes live. Now they will see this incredible play pulled off by EXO in a tournament, I might just add. Here we see EXO on this Vine, and one before against T1 themselves. He's thrown one poison down, the bomb is planted, though one did get picked off by MS. One more poison goes down. He's trying to zone control them off. Molly down in the same spot. Vi is taking a lot of damage. There's still 4v3, but they do get the revive. He takes down both of them during that revive. Moves on to the shark, aims him down, switches to the pistol, and takes down Dahlia for the final kill. Will he let shark up? No, he will not. Okay then guys, it's going to take us to the end of RogueCast. If you did enjoy, there are weekly podcast episodes coming out of here from this channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you want to see more content from me, I post daily educational Rogue Company content again here on this channel, so make sure you subscribe for that as well. All the links you need are down in the description below, but for now guys, I hope you have a fantastic day. And remember, be loyal, be brave, be relentless, and I'll catch you in the next video.